Hey, how you doing? I'm Chase Johnson Lynch, and welcome to the Community Podcast. We're here at Big Condo Radio inside the Big Condo Academy, and I'm just pleased to welcome just another old friend, another guest from my past, actually.
Mhm.
Who is a light in the distance, a shining star on the horizon, and I'm well chuffed to be sitting down with this woman, Paisley Reid. How you doing, Paisley?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, listen, first of all, I saw your film, so I had to invite you. But it also was a good excuse to, I don't know, interact with old friends
Yeah, catch up.
and everything, catch up because that's the word, because it's like it's been a long time. Obviously, this young woman of 29, can I say that? I've been here 20 years. That means I know her since she was weed, And it's just fantastic just to see you rising from strength to strength and everything. So obviously, the first thing we have to talk about is what you're here to talk about is your new film Avidity, written by Dove Ross Williams and directed by Paul Opara and everything. And just tell us, the audience, about or what Avidity is all about.
So, Avidity follows a young woman called Naomi, who is really successful businesswoman and she's doing really well in her career, but her personal life not so much, and she suffers with bipolar.
Hmm.
So during the film, it kind of just shows how she copes with that in her day-to-day life, and when she has a difficult situation with a guy, how that
Hmm.
can trigger other things. And yeah, that sounds really vague, but I don't want to give too
Well,
much away, I guess.
no, listen, I understand the idea of films is to, keep it so people will come in. But like, obviously, a lot of people have seen this because it's been, as they say, released VOD, so it's on social media and all of that.
Hmm.
And I thought what would be really interesting is kind of like finding a little bit more about it because it is a strong subject and everything, because a lot of people struggle with mental health, don't they? And everything. But also, too, it's a lot of, this was really, it's black and white. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's very stylized in a way as well, for what is a Liverpool film. It's not what you would think of a Liverpool film,
Yeah,
But I wouldn't expect any less from Paul Opara
yeah,
because I mean, last time I think we talked, you were involved in a series that he was making here in Liverpool called Levels,
yeah,
and everything like that. So when I saw his name on it, I was like, oh wow. So I was wondering what was up with Paul and everything, because I mean that was an exciting project for you, wasn't it? Because it worked with a lot of young people here in Liverpool. Can you just say a little bit about that?
yeah. Levels was a really ambitious project, so Paul decided to do a series first. And I thought what was really exciting was he'd never done anything like that before. And he was just really humble and was like, I just want to try and do this for us. Let's give ourselves an opportunity. And I think with Avidity, there's been a lot of learning it's been about 4 or 5 years now
Yeah, yeah,
since. And he's like really worked on his craft. And I think the development is like you can't measure it. It's amazing.
yeah,
And I do think when you were saying about something coming from Liverpool, I think it was intentional. That Avidity was very different to
yeah.
Levels. So Levels was like typical, story in the hood, like
It's
people.
kind of like Gangs of London if you're watching that.
Yeah,
I mean, because as you said, it was ambitious,
yeah.
and I love a person who ambitiously tries to exercise a craft, but it was also big. So I'm not actually amazed that he went small,
Yeah.
and this film focuses on a character,
Hmm.
and as you said, it's like watching her go through the situation and everything else like that. How was that working with them on a big thing, right, of scale, and then working small? Because it's like you're pretty much in night, pretty much every scene.
Yeah. So with Levels, I only had a couple of scenes in it actually.
Yeah,
I think I had maybe two or three different
so many
scenes.
different actors, and
Yeah, and there was quite a lot of characters, and I think that's what Paul realised is it's difficult to follow that many people and be
yeah,
invested. So I think he really wanted to just follow her story, her world, her immediate people that she reacts with. And
yeah,
actually, Naomi doesn't have a lot of friends. She doesn't have a close network of people. It's her work friends or her cleaner or her doctor that she interacts with. So I think that was intentional as well to show what it feels like when you're feeling like that and you're feeling isolated as well, or you don't have a support system. But obviously for me, it was completely different because it was kind of like all about me and where my character
Mm.
goes. And what was really exciting was they gave me a lot of space to play.
That's what I'm curious about
Yeah.
because I mean, obviously we're going to talk about acting in a minute, but like what was the process like? The director actor process
Yeah.
for that. You said that they gave you space, but I mean, what does that mean? That did it give you the ability to work the script or like to play the emotion angle? What was that?
So it was actually a really, really funny story how I ended up being in Avidity. I got called at 9:30 the night before we were due to film, and
Oh
asked if
no.
I could do it for like a number of reasons. And I ended up doing it. And so I literally had read the script the night before, like didn't really have a clue what I was gonna do.
Mm,
But when I got there, there was obviously like, oh, well, this is the scene, but I think she might say it like this, or those kinds of conversations which people can usually be quite flexible on.
yeah.
But in other projects, I've had it where there's
Do this and do it this way.
yeah,
What
and
is she
there's
doing?
and there's a limited amount of time. Whereas with this, I started thinking of ideas. So like the scene where she's in the bath and when she's dancing around the apartment, they were things that I had thought of and was like, do you mind if we just try it? And if you don't like it, we don't have to use it.
Yeah.
But luckily they did, and I think it worked really well. So yeah, I think that's the difference, is getting able to play and just be like, I
Yeah.
feel like I know who this person is now. Can I just see what I think she would do, or in that situation?
No, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So when I was asking you, is it going into festivals and everything?
hmm
From your perspective, where do you think it's going?
Well, they've spoke to us about what they intend to do is kind of approach other people and other companies and show them the film and say, we're here, we would like support. And I think that's the main function of the film. But I do think they're looking at festivals and other things, but it's so difficult right now with what's going on with
Yeah.
COVID and stuff to figure out how that can fit. And so I think they're still really early on in the process, but they did do a screening for some like corporate people, so different companies. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure I should say who,
No, no,
to
no.
kind of come and have a look and stuff. So hopefully
Yeah.
it does have a bit more of a life other than just sharing on the internet. It would be nice if it did get into festivals,
Hmm.
especially in London. There was one in Rich Mix, I think it's called, in a
Yeah.
little cinema in Shoreditch I was a part of a couple of years ago, and I think if they could maybe get into those kinds of
Yeah.
places.
Well, what we're going to do is that this is one of those moments where we're going to actually there is a trailer. Uh,
Yeah.
so what we're going to do is we're going to cut to a trailer of Avidity, just so that way we give our audience a chance. But then what we'll also do is because Avidity is out, that like in the chat roll, right? We might put the link for the actual film because that's what you really want is for people to watch this movie and your
Yeah.
work, don't you, and everything like that. So here's the trailer for Avidity. Oh wow, that is powerful stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, I've always, I mean, I saw something in you very early on. I don't even remember how we actually met, but I mean, I know
Yeah.
we were just putting together local actors and everything else like that, and it was kind of like, oh, I need a kid. My kid, my kid was not. I think he was a diamond in my eye at that point.
Yeah.
But either way, is that like you came on board and it was just like I mean, some very cool scenes that you participated in and I could see that there was something in you. And would you say that you had the acting bug? Because I know over the years you were singing, you were dancing, and you were acting and everything like that. Do you think you had that acting bug that very early on?
I think I was just one of those kids who was bouncing off the walls at every moment. So like I used to get my mum's bed sheets and put them on the doors in the living room and make it like my my stage. Yeah. But it was before I really understood acting. I just used to always have these stories
Did you
or
watch like the movies? Did you want to be the girl in the movie or anything
I
like that?
guess so, but I don't think at that age, because I this was when I was like really young.
Yeah.
I don't think I thought about it like that. I think I just wanted to perform at every
Yeah.
moment. So whether it was singing Spice Girls for me mum and all the friends,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like I've got this story and I'm going to be the witch and you're going to do, you know, it was always stuff like that. And then it was, I think when I got to around 11, I went for my first audition. And I remember walking to it with my mum and she goes to me, "Can you act?" And I was like, "Don't
I
know."
don't know.
Literally like that. And then I remember my first screen like audition was for I'm a Juvenile Delinquent, Jail Me, which I ended up getting the part
I think I
for.
remember that. Was that one of
Yeah.
those Colin McEwen films or something like that?
It was Hurricane Films, did it?
Hurricane.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Cox was the director.
My boy Alex Cox.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was brilliant. And then I remember I went in for the audition and I was supposed to be auditioning for one of the children's parts, but I went in and went, "Can I be Betty?" And they were like, Betty was like, I think a 30-year-old American woman.
Really?
And they were like, "Yeah, go on, be Betty." So I did Betty, and then they were like, and then they were, "Do you want to do anyone else? Do you want to do Posh Boy?" So I did Posh Boy. And then I just had that thing of, I think when you're young, you just don't have any fear.
You know.
So I just played, and then I think they saw something in me again, and then I got the part. And
Which part?
my part was Crystal.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
at the
So
time.
not Betty, the one
No,
you
it wasn't
invented.
Betty was an adult, and I was playing the child.
Listen. I've seen Stranger Things.
Yeah, but yeah, I think even then I didn't really understand it as much. I went on to do The Worst Witch after that.
Oh,
And,
wait. I remember
yeah.
you were on The Worst Witch.
Yeah.
It's like, I think you did 2 seasons.
Yeah, so we were the new Worst Witch. So it was Mildred's cousin Hetty had come to the school, and so we got to do 2 seasons on CITV. And yeah, so
I've watched it.
it was really
Said
cool.
I knew her. She's one of those people I knew.
So it was really exciting, but again, when you're young, you kind of don't really understand the magnitude of the opportunity you've got, or you don't really understand scenes or what you're doing. I think it's instinct.
Yeah.
Which is great. And in some ways, as a child, it's better because you don't have the same inhibitions and you don't have the same doubt that you sometimes get as an adult. Yeah.
So now, in the show notes, right, I was asking you about acting and everything, and then you went on a tirade. So let me get ready for this one. Go ahead. What's your acting tirade? I'm an actor. I had to step away from the mic to say it, but go ahead.
I guess for me, it's been a really long journey with calling myself an actor as my job, as my profession.
Good one.
So when I was like 16 till I was like 22, 23, I was working for the youth service and I was a youth worker working with young people, and I was an actor. But when someone said, "So what do you do?" I was like, "I'm a youth worker." But what do you do? I work in this place, I work in that place. Now when people ask me, "What do you do?" I say I'm an actor, because it's what I do for a living. It's how I make my money. It's also something that I work on and I invest in. I go to an acting class, usually before now, once a week in Manchester. I've got an agent. I subscribe to Spotlight, which is like a marketing website.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let me stop you there. Spotlight. We've all heard of Spotlight.
Yeah.
I mean, do you recommend Spotlight?
Definitely. I think, yeah, because I know it's got its problems, but for me, I've always found it really useful just to have somewhere where my TV goes, where people can see it's really accessible. It's formatted in a certain way, but especially for showreel and stuff and things like that. It's just easy to have it all in one place, and it's a recognised thing that myself, I've cast people. I've been on the other side of stuff.
Oh, you've done casting?
I've done casting and I've done it through Spotlight, and it's just the difference between getting a CV that someone's made themselves, and it can be okay, it can be in really good quality.
Yeah.
But there's something about having it on Spotlight that just gives you that.
It's the legitimacy of Spotlight, isn't
Yeah.
it? And I think probably what that thought that spit out of my mouth like spit was the fact that there are a lot of people who've had bad situations, but maybe no. Because like you just said, it's like it's a worthwhile tool for people who use it right, isn't it?
That's it. And it's not the only way. I know there's now loads of other websites, but I've been on Spotlight since
Have you ever done a self tape?
Yeah.
So
It's
what's
the bane of my life right now.
is it? Well, tell us why. I mean,
No.
first of all, say what a self tape is, and then why is it the bane of your existence?
To be honest, it's really not the bane anymore. It was for a while before I knew how to use it. So a self-tape is when you get a casting through and you have to film it yourself.
Yeah.
The reason before now it was so tricky was just not really it being a new thing that we weren't used to. So not necessarily knowing how to set up a shot, not having the right lights, trying to find a background. Also,
Not just wearing a sweater, sitting on a couch.
yeah, but also not having your mum reading with you. Like, I love my mum. She's the best ever, just to say. But I now try and get another actor to read in with me
Yeah.
because
A lot of actors are jealous of doing that though, because it's like, and when they start to say, "Hey, who's that other person?"
see, I'm all about
Myself.
I'm all about that. Me, if you like the other person, I'll be like, it's this one, get them in.
Really?
Yeah.
Saying that on camera is great.
No, genuinely, and I think that's part of. I know you were saying we might talk about it anyway, but I do teach, and I think that's part of the thing with teaching and being a youth worker. I really do genuinely care about people younger than me or people who want to get into acting who've always felt like there was barriers and it wasn't for them.
Yeah.
For me, it's like acting should be for everyone, theatre should be for everyone. There shouldn't be, oh, this is some elite thing that you don't understand. Like, I'm not into that. So
Yeah, well, teaching, I value teaching because I'm a teacher. I value teaching, especially when it comes from a person who can maintain their passion. You know, it's terrible to be taught by a person who is like, I got to get out of here. Eggs, dominoes, because when they are there, you're there, so, I mean, sounds like you're there. I mean, so yeah, teaching, where are you teaching now?
So I teach Positive Impact youth theatre at the moment.
I know Positive Impact,
Yeah.
Barbara Phillips, I know
Barbara
her well.
Phillips, who was like one of the first performing arts things
Are
I
you like
ever
the
went
new
to.
Barbara? Are you like the new Barbara Phillips?
No, Barbara's still there. Barbara is still smashing it. So yeah, she's doing bits.
Smashing it.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for Barbara, I don't think I would be teaching in that way as well. So I think
Do you mean her inspiring you, or?
I guess also just giving me an opportunity. Especially for me, I'm freelance, so I'll do different projects and they might be like a 6-week project or a 12-week project, but Barbara was like, wouldn't you do your own class, like where it's long term? And that's something I've always been a bit scared of, because acting is like, oh, tomorrow can you be in London, or tomorrow can you be
That's the hard part about acting, because I mean, when you talk about freelance, I mean, it's like it's the readiness. It's not just about like, okay, I know I have a job today and I don't have a job for another like 2 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever. It's about the readiness. Can you be here tomorrow? Be where? London. What? I can't even eat my beans tonight. How am I gonna get there? But it is all about that, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was really hard at certain points, it being like that, especially when you're younger or for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It can be really tricky, but yeah, I think now I'm a bit more choosy, I guess.
Yeah, well, you can be actually,
Yeah.
and your talent shines through and all of that. I mean, last thing around that is like when you was talking about making an income as an actor
Yeah.
and everything, how important is that? Because a lot of actors, and I'm pretty sure you know this, a lot of actors are asked to do something for free and everything. And when do you start to value and say no?
I think it depends on where you're up to on your journey. So I've done a lot of things for free when I was younger, just to learn. And even now, there's things I might do that if there's no budget, because there's a pyramid I was taught, which I use. So either it's got to be financially beneficial to me, or I've got to learn something or increase my skill, or it's got to help me get the next job. If that
Okay.
makes any sense.
So-
There's probably a better way of wording
All right,
that.
well, wait a minute. As a producer, let me add to your pyramid. Because what you should say is it has to have production value,
Yeah.
right? So I recommend people working for free
Mm-hmm.
only because like it's a job.
Yeah.
Any job is a job, but it has to have production value. That doesn't mean that you should be one of five people standing in a line at 3 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
waiting for the shot.
Yeah.
Right? That's not going to serve
Mm-hmm.
you. It's not.
Yeah.
But if you have a line, if you have a character, if you have a moment, right? Because I think this is what people don't realize about show reels,
Mm-hmm.
right? And self tapes is that stop reading like crappy lines that nobody cares about. What they care about is the moment. And you said you did casting, right?
Yeah.
So I used to do casting in New York, and like I could tell you, and we're about to do casting now on a project. I could tell you once you walk in the room, I could tell no.
Yeah.
You experienced this?
Yeah, I think so. But then sometimes you can be surprised, and that's the best
Okay,
thing.
wait. That's part two of the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
You've experienced being on the other side of the table. No.
Yeah.
Why? Why is that person no?
I think sometimes as well, I've experienced it from knowing that I'm not right for something as an actor, getting a breakdown and going, that's not me, I can't do
Yeah.
that. But going, do you know what, I'll try. And then getting in there and almost wanting to apologise for yourself because you know, for example, I might not be able to play a 45-year-old woman. Like, do you know what I mean? So there's things like that. But I guess sometimes it's a feeling. I can't explain it. Like,
Yeah.
for me, it's not necessarily been a no, but I've known it, straight away.
Yeah.
I've known it from looking at their headshot. There's
Yeah.
something here. And I've been like, trying not to let that influence me. And then they've come in and I've gone, I knew it. I knew it was you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's hard because you can do everything right. I've been there and I've cast and I've seen 10 people for the same job
Yeah.
and everyone was really good, done a really good performance, but there was just something about that
Yeah.
other person. And I actually I think most of the time it's not what you do wrong, it's just there's something about that other person that was right.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
that.
I mean, my favorite thing, not to, take all your time, is I call it the Morgan Freeman story.
Yeah.
And Morgan Freeman worked for years on, public access television and stuff. And he didn't really get his big job until he was in his 40s when he made Street Smart with Christopher Reeve. And he's out in the audition hall and he's hearing black people after black guy yelling, right? Because he's supposed to be a drug dealer.
Yeah.
And everything. And he decided in that moment that I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to go in and I'm going to walk up to like this woman and I'm not going to say a word, but I'm going to intimidate her. And she was clearly intimidated. Now, the people behind the table, they were like, okay, the next guy, and they're waiting for him to start yelling. And he doesn't.
Yeah.
And so what do? They look up and they're looking at this woman terrified. What's going on? What happened? That's how they knew,
Yeah.
right? It's the choices you make with the material that you're given. Yeah. But that's how you surprise them.
Yeah.
And when I've seen self-tape after self-tape,
Yeah.
audition after audition, I've never seen that story repeated. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I could sit there going, no,
Yeah.
no, right? Because you're not surprising me.
Yeah.
You're coming in with a bag full of plastic cups talking about a tea party. You're not surprising me.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So when you told your own story about Alex Cox and the delinquent and trying to play another character, that surprised me. And I
Yeah.
bet you it surprised Alex.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't play this woman, but you're going to play somebody if I have to make it up for you.
Yeah.
So you've done exactly what I'm talking about.
I didn't even ever think of it like that till now, so thank you for that because that makes me really happy. But for me, acting, I think there's a quote that I really love, and it says, acting is telling the truth under imaginary circumstances, and that is my style of acting. And I think everyone's got different styles, and some people are character actors and some people do things different. But for me, the most exciting thing a person can do is be honest. Tell me the truth. Like, doesn't matter if you like
Your truth.
Yeah, because I can hear something really sad and laugh my head off.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
that's how I react. Or I can watch a Johnson's Baby advert and cry
because it's real
and that's,
for that person.
Yeah, and for me, it's like react how you feel you would react in that moment. And also, like, it might change. So you could do a take where you are upset and you might hit the roof or you might get upset. Or there's one where you just might be
Yeah.
over it. And it's like, I love the freedom to try them things and,
Yeah.
go, because it's different how you react to things. If you've had a really good day, might be completely different to how you'll react to something if you've had a bad day
Yeah.
and it's the final straw. Do you know what I mean? So
no, exactly. And
all
what
that stuff.
happens is that people, they want to be surprised in those particular scenarios.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? This has been an amazing conversation. Didn't think it was going down this road, and I'm so glad it did.
Yeah.
Because I think that as always, you have something to aspire to the next generation. Being chosen to do those classes. Obviously they see in you what you sometimes maybe see in yourself. So I think there's only more things to come from Paisley Reid.
Hopefully.
You've heard it here first. Hopefully. What happened to that positivity? What happened to that strength?
I'm staying humble. I've got to be humble.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess for me, it's all about working, isn't it? You've got to try. Like, oh,
don't worry, keep going.
the bells, the bells.
What the hell is the bells? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you've got to have a goal, and you can't let people tell you that what you want to do isn't not valid, or it's not reasonable, or it's not possible. It's about you. It's your journey, and the way you first visualize it, it might change. But as long as you're happy with where you're going, that's everything. Because to me, it's not about the big job or this is going to be the thing that makes me happy. It's all about integrity. Like, as long as you can keep that on your journey, then
yeah. Well, it's like, hey, we all walk the journey, we all talk the talk and everything. And like I said, please take a listen and a watch of Avidity. It's available on all social medias.
It's on YouTube, but it's been shared on Twitter and Facebook.
It's shared
and
everywhere.
Everything.
It's shared everywhere and everything. But what we also have to share is your social media handles. I mean, because, first of all, this is a star, so you're missing out, people. So how can people find you?
So on Instagram, it's Paislie with an underscore. Paislie spelled Paislie, because everyone goes to spell it EY.
I know so many Paisleys, and let me tell you something. Here in Liverpool, I know so many Paisleys, but then I actually keep getting it wrong. I'm like, is that? No, that's not Paisley.
No. Do you know what? There never used to be. There was only ever like two of us, and now it's
it's same
really
for me
popular.
with Chase. You know, when I came up with the name Chase, I was in the hood.
Yeah.
There was nobody else going, hey man, go look at Chase over there. You know what I mean? It's like Chase. Oh, I know him. He's right over there. You know what I mean?
That's it. So it's become really popular now, which is nice. But
I hate it.
No, it's because I think they are getting more American names now as well here, isn't it? So that's probably why.
Yeah. And then your usual way was spelling it with an IE as opposed to a Y, right?
It's me mum being extra, I guess.
Well, it's your mom hating on Prince. She didn't want to go Paisley Park.
No. But and my Twitter is Paisley Reid, so it's just at Paisley Reid. Yeah.
But it's Reid, R-E-I-D.
Yeah, that's the one.
And everything. See, that's kind of like the way the Lone Ranger spells his name. I'm just like, because it's like, I hate names that are common.
Yeah.
Like my real name is Jimmy. Oh, I said that out loud.
Uh-oh. I never knew that. Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can change it, can't you?
I did.
Yeah, my mum, all our names are like funny names.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've all got, but it's all cool having an unusual name till you try and get a keyring.
I know, right?
And all your friends can get one.
You feel jealous when you're in the shop. You spin in that rack forever.
Or like the little mugs. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Could never get one of those as a kid.
No, not at all. But Paisley, thank you very much again for coming here and joining me on the Community Podcast. Please like and subscribe. Please share as well, because this young woman has a lot to say and everything, not just about her career, but about, careers in general. Because I think, again, we need young people like yourself to be able to tell us their journeys about how they get somewhere, because there will usually be that person who is 17 or 18 and like, what am I going to do?
Yeah. But I think the good thing about this generation is the opportunity they have with technology that we never had. So now YouTube is a way that you can create something and get it out there, and you don't know where it's going to go if it gets follows and shares, and so, and you can you can film 4K on your iPhone Like, so my
Exactly.
suggestion for young people is just make stuff, even if it's not very good. Just do it because you love it. Do it with your friends. Make stuff, and then you'll get better. You'll see it, and you'll know how to improve. And just don't let people tell you no. Because when I was young, people constantly said, "What, you want to be an actor?" Like,
Mm.
especially from Liverpool and being, someone who's like from where I'm from and my circumstances, you don't get a lot of people pushing you to do these things. They
Yeah.
don't think it's for you, and it absolutely is. And some of the best actors are the young people who come to my class who have no idea how good they are. And I think you have to make sure that people know that it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what anyone says. If you feel it and you enjoy it and you love doing it,
Yeah.
do it. Don't let anyone stop you.
Well, you know what? Make stuff. That's it.
Definitely.
I'm telling you, Paisley Reid. I'm Chase Johnson Lynch. I've been given the finger. That just means it's time's up. So, hey, we're out of here.
Oh, thank you.